But her nightmare was very, very real. Her family had been split, but she held a vision of reuniting her family one day. She visited when it was possible, but we were 17 miles away in Mount Clemens, and it might as well have been 17,000 miles because she didn't drive, and had no automobile or any way to get out there hardly. Did what she could, but she could get a ride. But in 1949, she married a man that she really wasn't in love with just because she wanted to reunite her boys and got us all back together. Married another alcoholic, abusive man. When he wasn't drinking, he was fine, but he never wasn't drinking. And I can remember my mom waking up every morning in those years, when I was 9 until I was about 17, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, taking 3 buses to work at Chrysler where she was a secretary, working all day, coming home, getting home at 5:45 off the bus at Peerless and Morass Road, and coming in and then making dinner for her 3 hungry boys, and doing this over and over and over again. Everyone in our neighborhood loved our home because my mom was this cool lady that just never was anything but positive and uplifting. None of us would ever have even for a moment disrespected her. She didn't demand our respect, but she certainly got it. She took incredible pride in herself, never would leave the home without her hair perfectly coiffed and in the right clothes and so on. Weekends for my mom in those days were spent down in the basement washing clothes and ironing clothes. Her mornings were spent making lunches, working. And then her own mother became very sick, and I watched as my mother took care of her mother. She had 4 other siblings, but it was always her. Everything was on her. She brought her into her home, cooked for her, took care of her until she passed away. And then, wonder of wonders, my stepfather, whom she had finally divorced when I was 15, his alcohol use and tobacco use was finally taking its final toll. And I watched her as she went to the home of this man who had done nothing but abuse her in all the years he was with her. And she cooked for him, and she did his laundry for him, and she took care of him and provided for him. Today, she approaches 90. She still bowls twice a week. She drives herself, takes care of herself, doesn't complain. She lives and breathes love in every way. And in a book that I picked up by Michael Murphy called What I Meant to Say, what happened was they were leaving a Thanksgiving dinner, and Michael looked at his mom, and they were exchanging just sort of polite expressions. And it was just small talk. Yeah, Mom, thanks for Thanksgiving and so on. And he looked and he wrote this book, and he wrote these words. He said, what I meant to say was, how can I possibly say goodbye to the person who was the first to hold me, the first to feed me, and the first to make me feel loved? From a distance, I watch you move about, doing the mundane tasks that to everyone else seem so routine, but for me, the tasks you lovingly completed year after year built and reinforced the foundation, the structure that made my world a safe and comfortable place to grow. All that I am and all that I can be traced back to is you. Whatever accomplishments I have made along the way would not have occurred without first believing in myself. And you were the person who always believed in me. Now, with a family of my own, I am amazed at the number of times I hear your words flow from my mouth. This phenomenon was at first most irritating. But now it warms me as I've come to understand that there's a part of you that will live on in me forever. When time parts us, I pray that you will reach across from the other side to again touch my face and whisper in my ear, for your warm and gentle presence in my life. For this, I will always be most thankful. Yes, Mother. You inspire me. My mom. Inspiration can come from anywhere. You can be a source of it, and you can find it in a book, you can find it in a painting, you can find it in a conversation, you can find it in a movie. I can't tell you how many of those kinds of things have been sources of inspiration to me. There was a great composer, his name is Don McLean, and he wrote some great music. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. You know that. And he also wrote another song that he wrote after he read the story of a man who was a great artist. His name was Vincent van Gogh. And on the 30th of March in 1852, Anne Cornelia van Gogh gave birth to a brand new little boy named Vincent Wilhelm van Gogh, and he was stillborn. And she buried him the next day. 1 year to the day later, on March the 30th, 1853, Anne Cornelia van Gogh gave birth to a second little boy named Vincent Wilhelm van Gogh, who became one of the great artists. Never sold a painting in his lifetime, but today his paintings sell in the millions and millions of dollars. He was a troubled young man. He believed that he was a replacement child, some say. Some say that he was the same child who came back the second time. But he went through a troubled life. He struggled for his sanity. He struggled for it. And he did some beautiful paintings, some of the most beautiful ever done, of ragged people. And Don McLean read a book about Van Gogh and was so inspired just by the reading of that book that he wrote a song that he called Vincent. On the 27th of July, in 1890, at the age of 37, after having painted some of his most beautiful paintings, one of which was called Starry Night, Vincent van Gogh walked out to his artistic writing place with his brushes in one hand and a revolver in the other. And he placed it to his heart, and he shot himself in the heart. It took him 2 days to die. And when Don McLean read about that, he wrote a song, the lyrics to which have always touched me so deeply. Starry, starry night.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer day, but I know the darkness in my soul, shadows on the hills, catch the trees in the daffodils, catch the breeze in the winter chill, in colors on the snowy and endless. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, babe, and I know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Sorry, sorry now. Flaming clouds are releasing, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflecting Vincent's eyes of China blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber gray, where the faces rhyme in pain, I stood beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, babe, and I know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, or they could not love you. Still your love was true, and when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Thank you.
One of the essential principles for living an inspired life is to remember that our desires don't arrive on our schedule. They arrive when they're supposed to. I'd like to close out this program on inspiration with all of these inspiring participants, with all of the wonderful help of all of you who've inspired me so much, with a quote from one of my great teachers, Ralph Waldo Emerson. We are very near to greatness. One step and we can be safe. Can't you take the one leap, just one leap? And from A Course in Miracles, I leave you with these beautiful words. There is a way of living in the world that is not here, although it seems to be. You do not change appearance, though you smile more frequently. Your forehead is serene. Your eyes are quiet. You walk this path as others walk. Nor do you seem to be distinct from them, although you are indeed. Thus can you serve them while you serve yourself. A new way of living, to be in spirit. Thank you for watching. God bless you.